What up, Chat Sports watchers? Join the family, hit that subscribe button, and turn on those notifications. That way you never miss anything. The last time I did a video, I told everyone, if you join the Noti gang and try to be one of the first 5 people to comment on my videos, I'm going to give you a shout out. So, here are the people from my May 27th video. Shout out to B-Dog. You were number 1. If you ain't first, you're last. Kidding. Lerone, Corey King, John Ruiz, Ray Yanez. I appreciate all of y'all, and if you want to see a future shout out on the show, subscribe and turn on those notifications. You're watching NFL Daily, and before we get into today's news and rumors, today's show presented by Aura. And if you haven't already, start your free trial at aura.com/chatsports. Someone becomes a victim of fraud every 14 seconds. Don't let that be you. Let Aura take care of you and your family by protecting yourself. Start your free trial at aura.com/chatsports. So the latest news and rumors that we're going to be discussing today is we're going to be talking about Baker Mayfield and Ndamukong Suh. Could he be on his way to the AFC West? Got a few trade rumors that we're going to sprinkle in, and yes, we will talk about Antonio Brown. We start this show off, though, with Baker Mayfield, and the latest report is that Cleveland, they don't plan on cutting Baker, which doesn't really surprise me, considering the fact if they do, they're going to owe him $18.86 million. So either you have him for $18.86 or you cut him, and you're still going to end up paying the exact amount. I will say this, though. If traded, the new team would have to take on his full deal unless the Cleveland Browns decide that they're like, you know what? We want Baker off our team so bad, and we know Mayfield wants to be out of Cleveland so bad that we are willing to take on some of his contract. So with all these rumors that have been going on around Mayfield, because they have just been nonstop since they went ahead and they made Deshaun Watson the richest guaranteed deal that I've literally ever seen, will Baker Mayfield be on the Browns next season? Let me know in the comments. Type that Y for yes or your N for no. My answer is there's no way, right? Like, there's no way we start this season with Baker Mayfield on the Cleveland Browns, because if they couldn't get enough attention around Deshaun Watson and the quarterback position, having both of those guys is just going to be a major, major headache. What I believe ends up happening is the Browns likely eat half of his contract. That's been the latest reports that I have heard. So you have that 68 mil, whatever the hell it is. The new team ends on paying, let's say, $9.5 million approximately, and then the Browns take on the other part of that. $9.5 million is still a lot to pay a backup unless there are teams out there that still view Baker being a starter. And when you listen to the latest reports, it sounds like there could be 2 teams. And CBS has linked Mayfield to the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers, both teams, which I would sit here and say, yes, Baker could at least compete to be a starting quarterback there. Is he better than Sam Darnold? I'm not 100% sure. Is he better than Drew Lock or Geno Smith? I would probably say yes to that. So I understand that Baker has been kind of ripped on the past few years, but when you go back and you look at some of the numbers here of QBs who have had 3 different head coaches in their first 3 seasons, go and look at some of those numbers. Baker's actually done a halfway decent job. Would I want him to be my quarterback? Do I believe Baker's a top 20 guy? No, I do not think so, which is why there's no way in hell I'm going to go ahead and pay $18.68 million for him. But if the Browns are willing to take on a little bit of that deal, then sure. I think there'd be a lot more teams interested then. But out of the 2 teams that CBS has mentioned, and I love Jeremy because he put this fun, interesting graphic together, we'll call it. If you were Baker and you're his team and you got to choose between the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers, what team would you pick? Would you pick to go to Seattle, type SEA, notice the C, or would you type Panthers, type Carolina, car, notice the car down there below? I personally, if I was Baker, I would choose Carolina, and the reason why I say that is because it sounds weird, but I believe that that division is easier to win than the NFC West. You're either going to be dealing with the Rams, 49ers, and then the Cardinals, or, yes, they got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. He's closer to retiring. The Saints don't really have any solid quarterbacks in play, and then Atlanta is Atlanta. That's why I would choose Carolina if it was up to me. Though, in an interview a few months ago, Baker flat out said that he thought the team that would be the most likely that he would join was the Seattle Seahawks. Now, guys, I'd said at the very top of the show, Aura, a lot of awesome benefits to make sure that you are safe and sound on the internet because, let's face it, we use the internet every single day. So make sure you got financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online device security, and family plans. They protect up to 5 people. To make sure that you protect not only yourself, but your family with our free trial, go to aura.com/chatsports. 14-day free trial, aura.com/chatsports. And I'm not going to be honest with you guys. I personally think that I would be able to protect myself more than okay, right? I mean, maybe somebody's out to get my stuff, and that's totally possible. But we all have that aunt out there who is not afraid to click on a certain link on the internet. Or I know a lot of my cousins, they give their phones to their kids. How many people here in the last week, month, have got a call that they didn't know, ended up being spam? A text message saying that you've won a trip to something. If your kid, 3 years old, saw that, you think they would click on it? They might. You might not be dumb enough to click on it, but your family members might be, as much as I love them out there. So make sure that you're protecting yourself and your family with this 5-day or 5-person plan, 14-day free trial, aura.com/chatsports. That link is available for you all in the comments and in the description. We've had a lot of sponsors here on Chat Sports, and I am very excited to be able to partner with these guys because they do the right thing. They protect y'all. All right, the next story coming up here is around Antonio Brown, the free agent wide receiver, and AB gonna AB, right? He's gonna light up the headlines. He's gonna do whatever the hell he wants. And now Antonio Brown is saying that he is not playing in the NFL in 2022, which earlier this month he said he wanted to retire as Steeler. What I really think is this. Not that he doesn't want to play in the NFL. We got some quotes around AB. Just no teams want to bring him in. No teams want to deal with his BS at this current moment. And in an interview that he had this week, this is what AB said. Obviously, we live the game, but you can't play forever. I think I'm a great player that's done everything in the game. And most people who are watching this right now would agree. He is a really good player. I mean, I don't really think there's anybody out there that would sit up here and say Antonio Brown's not good at football. And if you would, I'd say you're capping because AB's proven that he's one of the best. If not, there was a 6-year stretch, over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards, where you could have made the argument he's the best receiver in the NFL. Hell, he was putting up numbers that people were like, could this be the best receiver that we've ever seen? Teams don't want the headache. Yes, the NFL has always been an organization where if you can bring somebody in that helps you win, you're going to do that. That's what the Bucs did. And he literally did jumping jacks off the field, acted like a total idiot, and that's what he's going to do. AB is going to add in, he's going to be a headache. So AB also said this when asked if he was going to play this year. Nah, don't play yourself looking at me to play. Translation, he doesn't want to play because he doesn't think anybody wants him. And at this point, I'm sick and tired of talking about Antonio Brown. I hope that there's one day that I don't have to do it anymore. So as long as I still got to talk about him, I'm going to do this every show. FAB. You know what to do. It's my stick. It's what I like to do here. Why? Because the fact that we have to talk about this clown and he takes up airtime from other people that deserve it, it drives me insane. So please type FAB. Next story coming up here. Is Ndamukong Suh on his way to the AFC West? It's interesting. It's juicy. A lot of teams interested in the veteran defensive tackle. But before we get into that, if you're a Raider fan, you're watching this right now, and you want to get to know me better, you want more exclusive content, if you're just an NFL fan and you want more content, you can always go to locals.com, or you can check out my Raiders Locals community that I got over there, over 1,000 people already. Support the show, scan this QR code, or you can go to the link that you see below, raidersreport.locals.com. So let's now talk about Ndamukong Suh, because this guy, very interesting player, and he could potentially be on his way to the Raiders. ESPN Raider Paul Gutierrez believes that the Raiders could consider signing Suh. Why? The Raiders have 88 players on the roster as it stands right now, and they're about to get $19.75 million after June 1st. This is what Gutierrez had to say on the Raiders signing Suh. Hear me out here. Sure, The Raiders have 27 offensive tackles on the roster. The actual number is 8, but it feels like more. Having signed Bilal Nichols in free agency, re-signed Jonathan Hankins and drafted Neil Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler, among other moves. But Coach Josh McDaniels has said he likes to make a strength, well, stronger. Imagine then a perennial bad boy Ndamukong Suh suiting up for the erstwhile bad boys of the NFL. Sure, Suh is 35, and the 5-time Pro Bowler's best days are behind him, but he has not missed a game since 2011 and has missed only 2 in his career. Suh had 6 sacks in each of his past 2 seasons with 32 combined quarterback hits. Teaming him with Nichols, who had 8 sacks combined the past 2 seasons, to collapse the pocket from the interior would free up defensive ends Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. So hearing what Paul Gutierrez from ESPN is saying about Ndamukong Suh to the Raiders, do you think that the Raiders should try to bring him in? S for sign, P for pass. This division, the AFC West, is a gauntlet compared to a lot of the other divisions out there. And sometimes defensive tackles, yes, they don't get as many sacks. I will say Suh had 6, but if he could free up and get after some of these quarterbacks that the Raiders are going to go up against on a weekly basis, then I'm going to go ahead and type my S for sign. And sure, his best days are behind him. There's no doubt about that. But the Raiders don't really have that much pressure or that much depth at DT, despite them having 8 defensive tackles. And Ndamukong Suh would be able to come in, be a good player on the field. And for a team in Las Vegas that's very young and had all the drama that they did last season, bringing in a leader would help them out a lot. Now, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you guys a lot. Subscribe to Chat Sports on YouTube. I am going to be live tomorrow breaking down the latest news and rumors. So if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications because if anything happens, well, we're going to let you know.